And we're live. It's almost
Yellow.
it's seamless, this transition. Got this down to a fine art. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Morning Ritual. It's our TTRPG talk show. Of weirdness and I don't know. I had a thought. I lost it. It's early. Hello. I'm Anita. I'm one of your hosts. My pronouns are she, they, and down here.
That's me. I'm Noir, the other host. I go by he, they.
And we've got
You would think that I would have this down by now, but here we are.
We're close to we're 3 years in on this bitch, and
Are we?
This is year 3.
Holy shit.
It'll our official 3-year anniversary is in June, but we're 2.5 years in. You'd figure we'd have something figured out.
We're
at this
about
point.
3 years in. We still don't have a podcast Patreon or anything. We gotta get our shit together.
Patreon, but we need to work on actually getting things put up on it.
Yeah,
damn, I didn't know it was 3 years.
It's hard. We have a Patreon. We have a coffee. We switched to coffee, and man, it's hard. It's hard. It's like a whole job by itself.
Yeah, it is. You
God
need an extra person just to do that. We've got an amazing guest. Speaking of, hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jake. I run a channel called Q Times where we do tabletop RPG streaming. We also do edutainment content on YouTube, primarily about Pathfinder 2nd Edition. But that is just what we have done. We're looking about changing things up and doing some more cool stuff, covering some other non-TTRPG but other geek related content in this next year. So I'm very excited about that, and that's why you brought me, right? You wanted to talk about 3D printing, right?
Yes.
That's yeah, we wanted to talk about 3D printing, right?
I've got a real cool crown build, but it's 9 pieces and each piece takes a day.
I am currently in the process of printing a statue of Odin, and the left arm took 3 days, the right arm took 3 days, and rephrase that, and by arm I mean hand. It's literally just their hand. It's gonna take me a year to print this fucking thing.
It always takes so long, but in the end, it's so worth it.
Well, and my wife's like, why do you want this? I was like, because it's fucking cool.
There's this is a really cool. It's like a paladin helmet. That's like a crown. It's got laurels on the side, and
ooh,
yeah, it's gonna be so fucking dope. And I just bought bronze filament, so the helmet's gonna print in bronze.
Ooh, that's super cool.
So I'm like,
isn't the Patreon only to force Noir to watch bad movies? I actually could just get him to do that regularly. The other night we watched Lamageddon.
Okay, well, hold on. You can't drop Lamageddon on me and not expect me to Google this.
It's on Amazon Prime, and it is a terrible.
Listen,
budget student movie.
Amazon Prime has some of the best horrible fucking movies.
Oh my god, I am in love. I'm in love.
It's listen. This I'm not to spoil love again. It's got it's got heat vision. It literally beats somebody to death.
Okay, hold on. I'm 12 seconds in and I'm already down. Okay, so in the trailer, the first actual clip from the movie that they show is like a GIF of a fireball that is same 3 images going back and forth, flying through the sky that you can clearly tell someone just took this GIF
and tracked it. Yeah. Through their footage.
Yes, the quality of the special effects are not good.
Yeah, there's portions of this movie that are animated.
No.
Yes, it starts off animated and then goes back to animated. And when we say animated, you're probably thinking
This is
quality.
Newgrounds short quality animation.
This is early Newgrounds quality.
This is early
animation
Newgrounds quality.
Talking about.
Okay, I have gotten to the part where they're in a hot tub and then there's a llama that just pops its head up and it's got red glowing eyes.
Yes!
Correct.
Yes!
I love this. Look, okay, look. This is coming
Low-budget
from
schlock. It's incredible.
the only movie I have ever stopped watching is Rubber. That is the only Rubber is the serial killer
Tire.
tire.
Yes.
That is the only movie, and I stopped because it was freaking boring for the first like 5 minutes. It's like I'm not.
There are
You-
portions of this movie where you're like, are they just going to just cock tease us this llama the entire freaking session? It's incredible.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
like
seriously-
movies where they like hold on a shot just like way too long, where you're just like,
Yes.
oh my
There's
god,
some weird camera
the
angles
llama
in
punches.
this too. Yeah. It's
Oh my
great.
god, this is the best.
I can't. Listen, we had a movie date night, and it was a double feature of Llamageddon and Violent Night.
Okay, I haven't seen Violent Night yet. Yay, nay, yay,
Yay.
nay. Okay, yeah, I want to see that. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. I got too high, and once Violent Night came on, there's a part in the movie where he, with a straight face, is on the phone talking with terrorists, and he goes, "Santa's coming to town."
Santa Claus is coming to town.
And I took all the high in my body was like, "We're not doing this. You're going to bed."
We're out.
look. It was funny because a friend of mine was in town, and they're like, "Oh, let's see Avatar," and I was like, "Look, I would for you, but like." And then I was like, "Oh, why don't we see Violent Nights?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that's a horror film. I don't want to see that." I was like, "That
It's
is
not a horror film. It's a home
like-
invasion film. It's
I was like, this is Die Hard with Santa. Like, come on,
really
like,
is. It really is just Die Hard. Like, honestly,
and it's not.
if there was ever a crossover between Violent Night and John Wick, my little heart would do flutters. Like, he's killing people. Like John Wick.
The worst. I think the best minor spoilers for Violent Night, if you're okay with that.
yeah, go.
Is it's not a guy dressed like Santa. He's actually Santa.
Yeah. I mean, in the trailer, like he does magic.
Yeah.
Like he like teleports or some shit.
and like there's
you know?
occasions where a fight breaks out and you completely forget that he's actually Santa Claus. And then you remember that yes, this is in fact Santa Claus beating the shit out of somebody with a candy cane.
There's a fight scene where he's reaching in his sack to grab random gifts to try and find a weapon. And it's the funniest goddamn thing.
I love it. I'm
It's
like
wonderful.
you're selling it more to me, and it did not need to be sold. Like I
I just can't get over. Like they take the movie so serious.
good.
Like there's not like the thing that I love about this movie is that there is no wink and nod. It's like this is fucking for real.
I love it.
The bad guys have Christmas names. Like the main bad guy is like he's Scrooge.
Yeah, the main bad guy Scrooge. Doesn't it John Leguizamo play him?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's John Leguizamo playing a gangster named Scrooge with a bodyguard named Tinkle.
Or was it the Grinch? Oh no, it was Scrooge, you're right.
It was Scrooge.
Look, John Leguizamo is having a great 2023. Between that and The Menu, love it. Have you seen The Menu yet?
I still need to see The Menu, but I didn't have the ending spoiled for me.
I'm not saying a thing.
It looks real good. That was actually probably on the agenda for something for me to watch today because I just got HBO and it's on there. And okay.
My sister-in-law was like, "Hey, do you want to sit down and watch The Menu?" And I was like, "What's it about?" And then they're like, "Just watch it." I was like, "All right." And I was pleasantly surprised. It was very good. I that is my only thing. It was very good. But
what kills me are the memes. Like on TikTok, there's somebody that's just like the boy who lived come to dine. Like,
look, I I don't know what it is. I don't know if something's in the water or if 2023 is the year of the memes, but we have been getting some fire memes. Like with the OGL stuff, there has been. Oh my
I've
God.
seen so many Helms Deep and Avengers gifts
Oh
of
my
like
God.
everybody beating up on Watsy.
Oh my God, there's the Avengers one. The newest one I saw was what was the main bad guy in Thor? Not Love and Thunder, but the one where he's on another like planet.
Oh, Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, look, it's great. Both of us, it's congratulations to both of us, pat ourselves on the back, including myself, because, you have to have someone to overthrow to have a revolution.
Oh, no,
They won, and so did we.
collector.
Yeah.
Well, I was a community manager for a brand, and that is a hard job. So like, nothing but love to
Whoever
who
wrote it.
just got the job,
And I mean,
and
that's the
and,
thing
and,
too, right?
and all the other community managers involved with Watsy. They have a couple of them, but all love to them, but I'm still fired at the Empire. Like, that was just
Well, okay, so funny enough, it went on our Discord, like as soon as it came out, like someone posted up on our Discord, and people were talking about it, and one of our mods was like, honestly, this isn't that bad, this is great. And everyone's like is talking like, no, this is terrible, this is bad. And our mod's like, I don't know if I'm just looking at this rose tinted glasses, or like, because I know that there's people connected. I don't know what's going on. And I was like, look, I'll be honest. This is the line that really kills me, which is the, a lot of people are going to say that they won, but like, we also won. Like, oh, and they were like, wait, what? And they go back to it. They apparently went back and changed the post because they missed, like they had added the second and third paragraph. And so they had read through it and only read the first paragraph. And they were like, oh no, this is bad. This is very bad.
ChatGPT wrote the statement?
No.
Oh, you're thinking CER's statement.
No.
No.
No. That would be
hilarious.
So, okay, I will say I am going to be the contrarian. I actually liked CR's statement.
I did too. And
I didn't know people didn't like that one.
There's some people that like it's just a whole bunch of fluff. They didn't say anything, and I think you need to realize that statement had to go by an entire team of lawyers in order to bypass NDA and the fact that there are NDAs where you cannot say anything disparaging about the brand.
Also, there is a heavy connection between Watsy and CR, and like whether it be a contentious relationship, because I know that there has been some butting of heads between those two companies, but like, look, I don't think that they should and could come out and say, fuck Watsy, you know what I mean? Like, down with the monarch, like I don't think that they can, and I don't think it would have been healthy for them to do that, because then they already have like the everyone knows that CR fans can be very, very toxic, right? And so I don't think that they want that, and so they're not going to give something that's going to feed into it. But like, if you really look at it, it says some deep stuff. You know what I mean? Like
they basically are proving me like, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but like,
no.
They didn't bring up Darrington Press for nothing. Like,
exactly. Like, I literally read this of like, yeah, hey, this is the reason why we went with Watsy in the very beginning, because it was cool and it was interesting and it was free. And then the second thing is like, it's the reason why we've made our own company. Wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I posted, I tweeted out, I'm like, honestly, I really like this. Like, I'm not a huge CR fan. I've never watched, I've tried to watch CR, and it's just too much for me. I can't, there's like 1,000 backlog episodes. They're all like 8 hours. I got too much going on in my life. I can't I can't do this.
Podcast at 1.5 times speed during combat, 1.25 speed during exposition. That's the only way I get through it.
Yeah, and look, if it's your fandom and you like it, great, do it. But and so like I don't have rose tinted glasses with CR. Like they're not amazing to me. So when I'm coming at it and I'm seeing this, like I think that a lot of people also just want to hate on CR, and a lot of people also want them to come out and say fuck WotC, and they really can't. They can't do that.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, there's a lot of folks right now who are like, we need to pump the brakes on like how aggressive people are being towards WotC, and I understand that on the individual level. Like,
yes,
you don't go after the people that work at WotC. That's just first off, you're not accomplishing anything, and second off, they're real people. Like, fucking chill. But I've got no love for that company. Like, I'll walk up and down the streets with a picket sign saying WotC can eat a dick. Like, I think we need to have that conversation on like, how should we do this? And I think unsubscribing from D&D Beyond was a great first step for the community.
Oh yeah, I think that's the only thing that did anything. Like, yeah. I legitimately, okay, there was that second email that got leaked about like, hey, like they're using D&D Beyond subscription numbers to use as metrics, a metrics. Yeah. And since like, so if we want to do something, we need to cancel that. And then immediately the next day they finally said something. Like, yeah. Whether that be just very good timing or what, like, I can't say. I don't have a secret eye that's able to answer that, but I do know that corporations care mostly about money, and as soon as your money's going down, someone that has probably been telling them to not say anything probably say, "Oh shit, we need to say something," So, yeah. Oh man,
well,
yeah. I mean,
there's the article that Linda just posted today, 3 hours ago, that says that the D&D Beyond subscriptions forced Hasbro's hand.
Mm-hmm.
I just in an attempt to stop another Paizo from being made, like, Wizards has fortified Paizo's spot in the scene, and it's truly something to see. Like, I never thought I'd see WotC like buckle like this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, and honestly, like, we were talking on our Discord, and they're like, like, I get it, they need to make money, and they're trying to, I was like, and I do agree that D&D is under monetized, and I was like, what? Like, no,
D&D is under monetized.
Well, yeah, that's one of the first things that came out is during the Magic the Gathering. Okay, oh, hold on, we got this story's bigger than just
the Magic the Gathering 30th, probably. Right.
Well, so the Magic the Gathering 30th had huge backlash because everyone's like, who's paying $1,000 for 4 packs of random Magic cards that we can't even play in legal or standard? Like,
that WotC promised to never reprint, by the way.
Yeah. Well, and some of them, they don't even have the legal right to print. They actually had the family's artist, like, literally is working on and has reached out and said, like, we own the rights to this artwork. You cannot reprint this without talking to us. Like, what? Why are they doing that? So, I believe it was Forbes wrote an article about Wizards of the Coast, or about Hasbro's stock, or about Wizards of the Coast stock, and how it is underperforming and that you should pull your money out. And
Bank of America actually dropped their grade.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Bank of America. Thank you. And when that happened, they were like, oh shit. So they decided to have a live stream fireside chat to talk about Magic the Gathering and talk about like how they haven't been screwing up. And everyone's like, hey, you're overprinting cards, like you're doing this, you're doing that. And they basically are like, well, we're still reprinting Warhammer 40K cards because people keep asking for them. So we're clearly not overprinting. And it was like, that's one set out of the last like 12 that you released this last year. And one of the things that they brought up is they start talking about D&D. And they were like, now about 20% of our base is DMs and the other 80 is players, but most of our money comes from DMs and not players, and that they feel that D&D isn't monetized enough, like that it needs to be better monetized and have more monetization associated with it. So that came out, and then all of the OGL stuff started coming out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. The fact that they were coming after the original OGL is what really like. That's what scares me. It's just they were really going to try and put Paizo out of the paint. Like they were really going to try that.
Well, it's not just Paizo. Like it affects like a lot. It affects CR, affects like Cobalt Press. Like it's so dumb.
So many companies, like Mage Hand Press does 5e content. Like there's so many publishers that sprung up because they wanted to make 5e expansions and 5e content and 5e compatible content. The OGL allowed for that. And the fact that Wizards basically pulled the rug out from underneath all of them tells you that, like, they're like, well, we're just going to take our ball and go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for us to stay here and stay in this place if you're not going to be supportive of us. We're just going to make our own game with hookers and blackjack. They're going to bender this.
Like I just this whole thing is so messy. Like it's so messy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they realized what they did, and I mean, I also think that like there is a level of I'm sure that there's some gray in there, right? Nothing is black and white. I'm sure that maybe the version that we saw was like one of the drafts, but it's probably closer to the final draft than they want to admit, just for the fact that they were sending contracts out to content creators saying, sign this. You don't do that. You don't send
a draft out
to be signed.
Exactly. So it's just like,
we're going to take the ball and charge you every bounce.
Yeah.
Golly.
There's some major red flags in there that are just astronomically wild. But I mean, look, I'm proud of the community as a whole for going forth. The fact that we've got Orc coming out, we've got that I'm super excited about.
I'm very interested in Orc. First off, I think there's going to be a legal battle. I don't think Watsy's going to take Orc Lion.
I mean, what can they do? I mean, they can sue, but like, I mean, what are they going to do? They're making their own game license. It's not illegal to make your own game license. Like,
yeah. Also, props to Paizo. You knocked it out of the park with that acronym.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
I love it. And I'm on Paizo's Discord, and there's like the Paizo Partners Discord, and like they're being very good about it. Like they're like asking us about like advice about like, because they're like, hey, we're getting a lot of requests for merch, but like we don't want to just like make Orc merch and then like profit off of it. Like what, like we're talking about taking this and using it for legal fees for like creators and stuff like that. Like what's a good way for us to like word it, or like what sounds fair. And the fact that they're asking the community, like, what makes sense and like what sounds like. I love that so much. And I mean, I don't know if it's because I know quite a few people on the team from over the years, but like they're working their ass. Also, they're a unionized TTRPG, so like
Yeah.
the leftist in me is in love, you know.
I just I'm so excited
There
to
you
see
go,
where this is going.
comrade.
The one time I don't have the soundboard up, I usually have the communist theme. Oh,
Hey,
God.
Danny, welcome in.
Hey. So I have to tell this story because we got to get back to talking about our guest here. So I could say a bit before this OGL thing, I started to get obsessed with Pathfinder.
Ahead of the curve, this one.
Yeah. Hey, I make the waves. No, I'm kidding. But I really wanted to play Pathfinder because I was starting to get bored with 5th edition. But I played in a few Pathfinder games with other people who did not really know Pathfinder.
Sure.
And so the first time I played, I hated it. Like, because I was coming in with the D&D mindset. Everybody else at the table kind of had the D&D mindset, and nobody really was there to go, hey, no, the D&D barbarian and the Pathfinder barbarian are two very different creatures. Yeah. Right? Like you like our general understanding of barbarian from D&D is, you know, hit me all you want to, I have damage reduction. And Pathfinder's barbarian is more like, I'm gonna hit you and I don't think you're gonna stand up after that. So like so I went in, I picked barbarian because I thought it was the simplest class. There was nobody there really to tell me the difference, and so I played him like a D&D barbarian and died very often. So I was like, okay, fuck this. If I'm ever playing this game again, I'm gonna know how to play. So I start looking up anything and everything I can on how to play this game. And I come to Q-Time YouTube's videos, and they're very helpful. They've got videos for every class. They break down like what the general idea of the class is, and then all the different variations and different options you can choose to create it. And I went down this YouTube well of Pathfinder content, and a lot of it comes from Q-Ties. So later, I'm invited to a game by Eric, who we've also had on the show, Eric Campbell, and we're working, and you're our producer, but at the like for most of it, I never see your face. I just hear your voice. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh, that guy's real cool. And I'm like, I was talking to you like, man, one day I want to play Pathfinder. You're like, oh, hell yeah, we should definitely play Pathfinder. I know all about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, I don't know enough about it, so let me look up more. And so I'm watching your videos, talking to you about playing Pathfinder the whole time I don't know. And then like we're friends on Twitter, and I see a face shot, and I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Wait a second.
I know that face.
I immediately ran to Nina's room and I go, that's the guy.
It's like, that's, yeah, our producer Jake, who runs Q-Times? Like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah, man, like, my brain sees Twitch and YouTube, and like, never the two shall meet in my brain. So...
Look, you are far from the only person that has done. I went to it was an event that was for I think it was someone's birthday or something like that, and it was held at a local like nerd bar. And I went there, and I knew like 80% of the people there, and then I quickly realized that none of them, maybe 10% of them, know what I look like. And so I was like, oh, this is the most awkward situation, because like, I don't want it to be like, hi, I know you. And it'd be this weird, like parasocial thing. And I'm like, so I'd be like, hi, I'm Jake. You probably don't recognize me, but coming in 5, 4, and then they'd be like, "Oh, Jake," and I'm like, "Yeah."
I was blown away because like the whole we were having conversations about Pathfinder, and I'm like, this guy knows a lot about it. I like, if I'm gonna play with him, I've got to learn more. So like, I go from having a conversation with you to watching you. I was very amused by how like blind my ear is.
Well, and I mean, honestly, like, even though I love Pathfinder and I like making content for Pathfinder, like, I want it to be as easy and as smooth for anyone. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. We're gonna like, I will take fresh eyes, never seen Pathfinder people, and we will play, because I'm like, we're gonna make this as easy as possible. In fact, one of our mods, Librarian Liz, who also helps out with Stream Punks and like a bunch of other places, like Librarian Liz is amazing. They've never played Pathfinder before, and so we're gonna do like a 2-episode show. We're gonna do a 2-episode live stream where I give them the books the day of, so they've never seen the books. And then on stream, they're going to give me a concept. So like one of the concepts that they like jokingly says Wolverine. And I will give them all of the information they need to make Wolverine, and they need to learn how to make Wolverine on stream. So like it's literally never been like, they've never seen it. They don't know what the steps are. They don't know how to do it. And it's going to be me explaining how to make the character live on stream with an interesting concept.
I like that.
Like, I have to say, there are a ton of it's very funny because like on the Pathfinder side of things, there are content creators that focus on that. And so there's a whole other side of TTRPG content creators that I wasn't aware of that are doing really just amazing work. Like the Rules Lawyer has become one of my just favorite people to watch, and now that this is all happening, it's really cool to see them getting shine from everybody. It's just like about fucking time. Like is how I'm starting to feel about this thing, and like Pathfinder isn't nearly as intimidating once you have somebody guide you through it.
No, and honestly, I feel like that's the same way with most TTRPGs.
Yeah.
Is like everyone is used to D&D, and there's so many D&D players that there's always going to be that one person that knows how to play D&D that can just explain it, right?
Right.
And so I think it's a lot of people going from like having that readily available friend that knows how to play D&D to, oh shit, am I the person that has to read the rules? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so like, I think that's the big hurdle / fear that a lot of people had and have with
at times, for sure.
Well, especially since there isn't a GM's and a player's handbook. Like, it's one book, and it's a fucking hefty book.
It's a chonker.
Yeah.
And so if you get, okay, here's the core rule book, and you get that book and you see how massive it is, it's intimidating. Like, it is
the
scary.
same with other systems too, like Cypher System. Like, that book is chonky, but most of it is most of it is like content for how to build your character or spells or ciphers and the like. But once you get used to it, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. So I'm hoping that we're going to be seeing a lot of new, honestly, not even specifically Pathfinder. Like, yes, I love Pathfinder. Yes, I want all my friends to play Pathfinder, but like, I also want people to escape the bubble of D&D, because I feel that a lot of people that are like D&D, I'm like, yeah, but there are so many amazing other systems that are out there. Like, just try it. Like Cypher System, I really want to play Cypher System. Like, I'm begging Eric to run me Cypher System.
I
or
love
like
Cypher System. Running
like
Cypher's
oh
fun.
yeah, like I like Cypher System, the Mutant Year Zero system. Like there are so many different games and systems out there that I really, really, really want to try that I haven't had the opportunity to play. because I need someone else to read the rules every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm a sucker for Kickstarter. So like I've got so many TTRPGs that I have not read, but I have bought.
Yeah.
So I'm also very, very bad at that. Like I've got Battle Lords, which I haven't read the new armor book. I've got what is that sci-fi movie? Blade Runner, the new
Oh
Blade
yeah.
Runner TTRPG. Like I haven't read that. But yeah, I
And there's
I hope.
there's also indie publishers too that have really cool games. Like
Still not.
Steel Knocked from Petra Volkhausen is great. Code Warriors or Good
Mhm.
Strong Hands by Craig Campbell over at Nerdburger. And I'm not just saying that because Craig occasionally pays me money to do graphic design for him. Um, Craig does amazing work. But yeah, like, and I just want to see how this goes because there's so many freaking cool games that folks are just going to get to experience for the first time. And I'm just, ah, please come play games with me. Please.
I got to play Wander Home last night for a charity
Wander Home's
stream.
so good.
Yeah, it was
By
really, really
Jay,
fun.
Jay Dragon? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I played a veteran, and I played a veteran crow that I based off of one of Odin's crows because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. It was really fun because like when you're playing a diceless system and you're so used to like having these like weird limitations, like
Mhm.
the start of the game, I was just like walking around, not doing anything. And then by the end of the game, I was like, no, I'm affecting the story. I'm like, yeah, that character related. Boom. I'm
Yeah.
related to them because
Once
I
that sort
want to
of
be.
gear shifts in your brain for a game like that, where you're just like, no wait, I can just pepper things in.
Hmm.
I can just add the
Yeah,
spice myself.
yeah. It drastically changed how I viewed the game as soon as that clicked. When I went, oh,
Have you played Sleepaway? It's also by
I did not. I've heard of Sleepaway, and I was told that it's by the same person.
yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well now I have to check Sleepaway out.
I haven't played it either, but I've heard that it is very, very good. In that same sort of vein, but also it's creepy and spooky instead.
Which is right up my alley. As I'm wearing a Vincent Price t-shirt, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, like, how did Q Times come about? Because you guys have a really solid Twitch and YouTube presence, and
Whew, okay, so all right. Well, do you get your coffee ready? Get your cereal ready. So we started a show, Krug and myself. We started a show called Game Gorgon, and that was going to be just general nerd stuff. And we were talking about video games. In fact, our very first episode is about Destiny 2 when Destiny 2 released. That was our first ever episode. Don't go back and watch it. It's fucking terrible. I had not figured out how to be a personality, and so I was very stern. I was literally like, hi, and thank you for watching Game Gorgon. Like I was it's so bad. But so we created that show and we were working with okay, hold on, let me take 5 steps back. Technically, all of this started at a convention where I met up with a very old friend. His name was Adrian, and he was like, hey, there's this new video game coming out called WildStar. And I was like, yes, I'm super excited about it.
Wow, I remember that.
And we were so hyped about WildStar, and we were so excited about WildStar. And he's like, yeah, I really want to do a podcast. I was like, dude, I'd be totally down to do a podcast. He goes, but we should get a third person. And I was like, oh, I know this guy that's super into it as well. His name's Krug. Well, his name's not Krug, but it's like his name's Krug. And I think it would be great. And so the 3 of us created a podcast called Strange Tales from Outer Space, which was our WildStar podcast where we talked about, cool, interesting things happening in WildStars, updates, all that stuff. And it grew in popularity. Like it actually, like the makers of the games invited us to come in and see their studio. I actually consulted on like their streamer space and like what they could add or do. Like it actually became like a thing, and it started growing. And then the game started to die.
Oh, no.
And so we were like, okay, well, I really enjoy doing this. I want to keep doing this, but we can't do this with WildStar because like we can't keep coming up with, hey, they added a skin in the item store. That's all they've done. Like, and so we decided, all right, we're going to create a new show. And we ended up creating 2 new shows. We had one show called Slash Yell, which was just about MMOs as a whole. And it was, we just talked about all the different MMOs and things that we thought were interesting, MMO news. And again, these were live streams that were made to be podcasted. So like we never put them on YouTube. We just live streamed them because we could. And we called ourselves Q Times because it was mostly about video games. It was about like waiting in queue to get onto an MMO. And since we were talking about MMOs, we were like, okay, Q Times. And then we had another show called, I can't remember the name of it. I feel terrible. But it was an argument show where 2 of our hosts were arguing about the news. And so the GM or the host would allow the 2 people to argue the same piece of the news, and they would grant each other points. But it was very much like along the lines of like, whose line is it anyway, where points don't mean anything.
Right.
And so we had those 2 shows. We had Q Times. We created a website. We hired writers. We were paying writers to write for Q Times. And then we created Game Gorgon, and that's kind of where it was like living. And we tried a new show called Role Players, which was going to be only about TTRPGs. And it was myself, B. Dave Walters, and our 2 friends who now live in Germany and do not do anything of public facing. And we were just talking about TTRPGs. And then one day, B. Dave Walters comes to me and says, hey, can you do a live stream? And I was like, yeah, it's possible. He goes, cool. I need to do a live stream in a week. And I was like, what? I mean, I didn't tell you I had a timeline. He goes, yeah. So I'm going to have a show come in a week, and we're going to do a live stream in here. Okay. So I figured out how to do a live stream. Like before it was just like this, like where we were on Zoom or we were on Google Meets. Yeah. This is now in person in my apartment, in my living room. There's a bunch of strangers that I've never met live streaming in my living room. And then they announced the beta for Pathfinder 2nd edition, and we started streaming that, and it just kind of went from there. Sam DeLev was in that group of people, that were coming, strangers that were coming to my house and live streaming. And Sam was like, hey, can we talk? And me being the paranoid person I am, was like, oh, I'm in trouble. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no. And Sam's like, hi, yeah. So I have this group that we're making called the Stream Punks, and we're looking for a place to stream. And I'd really love to stream here. Mind you, Sam was also streaming other places, much, much larger and more popular places. And I'm like, yeah. And then the Stream Punks started streaming at Q Times, and then it became the relationship that it is now. And we just grew and grew and grew, and just COVID happened, and then I overworked myself and streamed 7 shows a week. And now we're trying to diversify. We're trying to change things. Like we're seeing that while the TTRPG space is growing and is getting bigger, there's also a lot of people doing it. And so and in all honesty, like Twitch is probably the worst place for TTRPG shows to be because of the way that monetization works on Twitch, and it's very, very difficult. Like, I won't sugarcoat like how they work is anti TTRPGs, and it is very difficult for things to even exist. So like you have to come up with new weird things, you know. Pokemon Go just subscribed.
Hi, Joy.
I thought
Like
that was
I
fun.
just saw that pop up. I'm like, I'm in the work account, and I'm like, oh, thanks. Oh,
Thank you for gifting that subscription.
so I do love, one of the things that I do love about Q Ties is that a lot of these channels kind of, they develop their own community, and it's it is usually a community based around like a cult of personality,
Sure.
like one person um just kind of like running the show. In Cute Times, it does feel like a communal space, which is much different, much more comforting. I don't like often, like I kind of make a rule where I don't do like back-to-back shows on channels, just because like I've listen, I started with Straticus Academy, and like I've been a part of channels that have just kind of fallen apart ever since, and like I just don't want to go through the mess. But like Few Times really does feel very comfortable. Like everybody is just so considerate, which is nice. So I'm like, when you say that you like you kind of want to you know advance things with Q Times, I guess my question is like, where do you see Q Times in like the next year or two? Like, do you have any
So
plans, or like what's the dream?
so some of the things that we want to change up and do is we want to start doing mini paintings. Like I've got this beautiful 3D printer that I have I have given my wife anxiety with the amount of miniatures that we have printed and have not painted. And so she's literally like, stop painting or stop printing them. I'm like, why? And she's like, we've got too many. And I was like, no, can never have too many.
Never enough.
Yeah, exactly. And so so one of the things we want to do is we want to do miniature paintings, and we want to do virtual miniature paintings, so it's not just like I'm painting something and it's just me on screen the whole time. Like we have a space here, we want to invite people over that's local, and then we want to do it over the web for people that are interested in doing it over the web, like that aren't local. Exactly. And so we want to do miniature painting. We do want to get into some live streaming video games. There's a lot of really fun, interesting video games that are out there. Oh my gosh, it's Sam.
Oh my
I want
gosh.
Sam. I want Sam on my screen. Oh, like you're talking about cult of personalities. I want Sam everywhere on the screen. That's where I literally like
Seriously.
anytime someone's like, oh, do you have any suggestions? I was like, Sam Delev. I want Sam Delev on
Sam
the
and
show.
all the things.
Yep.
On free stream right now. Oh, have a good stream.
But yes, so we want to do miniature painting. We have a show that is in the works that is called The Gathering, which is going to be Magic the Gathering specific. That's going to be kind of a two-part system where it's going to be edutainment, where we talk about mechanics within Magic the Gathering, but then there's also a live stream aspect where we play Commander, and we play Commander over Spell Table for people that aren't local, but then we also have, again, a studio where we can play locally. So yeah, there's
Sam had me really thinking that there was something wrong with the picture, but then I saw the pun.
yeah. I started reading it too, and I was like, what? Yeah. But yeah, so we want to diversify our content, but we still want to keep what makes Q Times, which is like a ton of people. Like there's like, it isn't just about that. I mean, we're starting I can't give you details on it because I haven't done anything, but we're doing our first fully produced and paid for show where Q Times has made enough money where we are going, here you go, here is X amount of money. What can you create with this? And we have someone that is working on it. We have a small team that is working on it. I'm very, very excited about it. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to announce it in March, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, it's just I'm hoping to see growth in this, in the content in which we're creating, but not in the feeling that in which we're doing. We've also expanded our podcasts drastically within the last few years. We have 2 Monster of the Week podcasts that are going on simultaneously right now. We have one called Pest Control, and we have one that is called $2 Creature Feature. Both of them are really, really fun and really, really interesting. And they also do really good job editing.
So
yeah.
you're expanding the content, but you're still keeping the same spirit of the channel and the programming.
Yeah, the two things that, like, my goal with the change is I'm trying to reduce the burden upon my shoulders because I definitely went through burnout really hard last year. And so Jacob Kyle, do not want to deal with that ever again.
I feel that. I kind of feel like when the pandemic hit, like a lot of creative people were just like, well, I've got time now, so let's do all the things before the world comes back.
And then the world didn't come back, and we kept doing all the things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, the world likes to think it came back, or at least the corporations like to think it came back.
They're pretending real hard.
Well, because outside of Q Times, like the company I work for as a day job, I mean, they started making me travel quarterly. So like I'm literally flying to Atlanta and New York like every few months. So it's like it makes it hard to do 7 shows a week when you're also flying in all around the US and, doing a full-time. It's like, okay, I need to come up with new concepts and new ideas. So like
and
the
ideas
show that we have
self-sustaining, so that you're not necessarily like always that person.
Exactly. We have a show on our Friday nights called Grave Haven that is completely unproduced by Q Times. So they produce it, they stream it, or they record it, they do all of it. They send us the video file and we live stream it. And like all we're doing is giving them a platform. We're not doing anything past that. And I mean, that's not true. We take that and we turn it into a podcast and we pay for the podcasting stuff. But like it has reduced my burden because now we have a show that's Friday night that I can go out and spend time with my wife. I can play with my dogs. You know what I mean? Like I can not burn myself out, which is like very, very important. My 2023 goal is to not burn out.
I feel that with all my heart. Let's take a quick break, you guys. We'll be right back. So sorry, I just had something come up, and I'll be right back.
All right, we'll see you very soon.
Be right back, y'all.
All right, we're clear, and we're back.
And that's why I think OJ didn't do anything wrong. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Not again.
Welcome back, everybody. So we've got a number of questions that we have to catch up on that we ask all of our guests. So I'm just gonna start with the one that breaks my heart potentially, which is, Jake, there is a war in the TTRPG community between those of us who know that dice are nice, but they're also choking hazards and dangerous to our teeth should we put them in our mouths.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are those who consider dice to be the forbidden candy. And they call themselves the crunchers. They like to crunch on dice. We say stop the crunch because it's dangerous. What side of this war are you on, man?
I have never once put dice in my mouth and have never thought about putting dice in my mouth ever.
Yes!
Like it's never been even. I will tell you, there is a very, very niche community where at the beginning of the pandemic, I was sharing TikToks that I was getting. And for some reason, I was getting a mountain of TikToks where people were just putting dice in their mouth and then spitting them out. And I was confused. And so I kept sending them to these friends of mine. And they're like, why do you have so many? And because I was sharing them, TikTok was like,
This is what you like.
Jake likes it when people put dice in their mouth. And
It's gross.
I do not understand it. I do not get it. I've never once gone, this dice would look good in my mouth. No.
These ones look like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
But
The worst I've
don't
ever
put
gotten
it in your
No, you
mouth.
the worst I've ever gotten is I've used dice to stim my lips where I will like, But I've never thought like my lips get harder together because dice don't belong in your mouth. No.
Thank you. I need to get full in there. Workshop to build me a game table with a UV light so I can clean dice that I borrow from people.
Just like it's like those phone cleaning devices that came out during the pandemic where you like put your phone in a thing and it like cleans it. It's just like a dice tray that does that.
How has nobody invented a dice cleaner yet? How that should be the next accessory.
Also, dice are gross. We're eating fucking Doritos. People are touching their nose. There aren't,
Right?
no, that's not going in my mouth.
I once got a D4 handed to me that had chew marks on it.
Nope.
I was like, absolutely not. Another question that I want to ask before, you were stating that you guys have a painting table for local people to come and stop by. I'm curious, where are you guys centered out of?
So we're in a small city called Mission Hills outside of Los Angeles.
Oh.
I was fortunate enough to be able to buy a house right before the housing market just exploded. And we actually have a room that's dedicated for streaming. And pre-pandemic, we were using that to do all of our streams from. And so we have, are you familiar with the company called Carolina Gaming Tables?
Yeah.
We have their streamer table that I have modified for us. But it is a very nice, wonderful table. So it's like a flat surface that you lift up, and then you've got a gaming dice rolling table.
So me and Anita lost a bet. When we were watching you guys on YouTube, could have sworn it was Canada. Could have sworn you guys were Canadian.
Nope, we're Los Angeles. My day job is I work in TV and film. So
okay.
Los Angeles
that would
is
explain
kind
why you
of
have to go to Atlanta.
yeah.
New York.
So Anita, you're wrong. Your Canadian sense is
My Canadian sense had failed me in that moment.
I will tell you, my grandfather's Canadian, so I mean, there's some blood there, but
Anita knows every Canadian ever they would know. It's true.
You can smell the maple syrup in your blood.
I don't say sorry enough, so
oh
Sorry.
god. Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry.
It's funny because I catch you do it every now and then. Sorry.
I'm actually it's become a trigger at this point. I've started to just say I apologize.
so
Let it out.
my wife and my sister-in-law are from New York, and when they get off the phone with their mother, they come back with an accent, but then they quickly lose it. But I definitely catch it all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, how's the water? And they're like, shut up.
Get a cup of coffee by the corner.
I think you're putting too much pressure on the.
Oh God.
Love y'all. The next question that we generally ask is if you could sit at a table with any 5 people who are alive right now, you get to choose who's the GM, you get to choose what game you're playing, And then you get your 5 people. Who you pick? Yeah, this is the one that usually gets people a little frazzled.
Man, okay. My answer is going to be really weird. Okay, so I don't know how much into sci-fi shows in the 90s you were. There's this small show that ran like I think like 5 seasons called Sliders.
I
Okay.
love Sliders.
Yes.
That one is filmed in Vancouver and Los Angeles at times, but mostly Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm. I have said this already. I work in TV and film, so I see celebrities quite frequently, right? I have in my career, I have gotten starstruck exactly one time, and it was I was walking from my stage that I was working on to my car, and I happened to be walking next to Jerry O'Connell, and I went, "Oh, it's Jerry O'Connell again." Why did 20-something-year-old Jake get starstruck by Jerry O'Connell when I was literally on stage with Shakira and George Lopez, because I was working the George Lopez show at the time. And so I had Shakira thrusting her crotch in my general direction. I'm like, cool, this is a Wednesday. But then I'm walking in the parking lot and I see Jerry O'Connell just in a normal ass fucking outfit. And I'm like, oh God, turn across the street so he doesn't think that you're trying to walk in the same place that he's walking.
be cool, Jake. Be cool.
Yeah. So I would love to have Jerry O'Connell on the stage. I would
That's
also
a good choice.
Yeah, because I don't know. He also played Herman Munster in the single pilot episode of Mockingbird Lane, which honestly I loved and was very upset that didn't happen. Oh man, fuck, what else? Who else do I want to be at the table with? Man, that's so, and they have to be alive. That's the problem that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are so many people that I'd want to play with. That...
Well, like, what's some of your answers that you guys had?
Oh, we've got a couple. So we've got common answers are The Rock,
Vin Diesel,
Matt Mercer, Brennan Mulligan. Some of the more interesting picks have been somebody picked Elvira and Dolly Parton.
Oh, okay. Okay, this one's a little bit more realistic. I listened to a podcast called Last Podcast on the Left, where they talk about cryptids and true crime and stuff like that. But there's a person on there named Henry Zabrowski. I'd love to have Henry at a table. He actually is a nerd and plays tabletop RPGs. So that I think would be very fun. He's also a very boisterous, like wild, interesting person.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Jerry O'Connell. We got Henry Zabrowski. Man, and who GM? Man, this is so difficult. This is like probably the hardest question I've ever been asked.
Yes.
Well, like, because there's.
That's true. Nerdy did pick Elmo.
Yeah.
Elmo.
Like,
Man.
the puppet.
Yeah, no. See, if I got to pick dead people, I'd say Jack Parsons. That would be really fun.
Ooh, if we're doing dead people, I've got a list.
Okay. We have to pick Morgan Freeman as the GM.
Nice.
Because even in combat, that voice is going to keep me calm, you know? Okay, so I got 2 more I have to pick. Is that what I have to do?
Yep.
Oh, easy. Jack Black. Instantly.
Perfect.
Why didn't I think? Yeah, Jack Black. I mean, that would be.
Did you watch him play?
I did.
Yeah,
Mm,
real good.
Man, who else? I mean, I'm trying to not think of like just random friends, like, like,
I mean, some
because
people
I'm
have
like,
been I just want these 5 people, and they are my friends,
A
and
couple
that's
of
it.
people have picked their moms.
Yeah.
oh god, I do not want to play D&D with my mom. I do not want to play tabletop RPGs with my mother. Like, I would spend the entire time explaining it to her, and then she would then turn around and just be like, just you just tell me what to do, and then, um, hmm.
Joy, I think you mean we have a crime to solve. My mom
Uh-oh.
tried to be a cleric of Jesus.
I was gonna say that's probably what my mom would do. That is probably what my mom would do.
Yes. Yes, I love that. Have you ever heard of a video game called Smite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Smite is a MOBA where you're playing gods. I want them to bring Jesus into Smite so badly. I think it would be the best. He would carry a cross on his shoulder and he would just swing it at people. All right, okay. So I've got my last person, and
Mhm.
this is a diversity cast. I have to bring in someone that is diverse. So we're gonna bring in Scarlett Johansson so that we've got someone that is all ethnicities at the same time. Uh no, I have no idea. I have no idea who my last celebrity is. Oh man. Yeah, I cannot that's my list right now. Because like everyone else, okay. I got it. I cannot remember his name. I know what he looks like. I know what he's in. The main guy from Monty Python.
Oh, Blurb. I know his name too. I just did a bunch of Monty Python research and I can't.
Not John Cleese.
I'm gonna. Yes.
Oh yeah,
John Cleese. There you
is
go.
John Cleese dead?
Oh, he's alive.
No, he's alive.
Okay.
He is very old, but he is alive.
I've heard he's also mildly problematic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's an old white guy. Like,
yeah, that's true. Stephen Fry would be
Who's
wild
your top
in D&D.
3 dead people to play with?
top 3 dead people. Well, Jack Parsons, because I would love to have someone from the Church of Satan that also was a rocket scientist. Like, how the hell do I not have Jack Parsons at my table? Oh man. Let's see, dead people. I just typed in dead celebrities and I was like, oh yeah, that guy's dead. Stan Lee, I think, would be a great GM. Because he would just steal from everyone else.
True.
Taking shots, but I like it.
Diogenes.
I mean, as of recent celebrities, I mean, I think Bob Saget would be really fun. I mean, a great actor, Tupac, would be really fun. Because honestly, his acting was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And is what got him killed.
I mean, he went to Juilliard.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be really good.
Someone said Mitch Hedberg, and now I'm like, the DM told me to roll for initiative. The only initiative I am rolling is out of bed this morning, and sometimes I don't even have the energy for that.
Heath Ledger would be fun. I think Betty White would be fun.
He would be good. I didn't even think of Heath.
Yeah. Heath Ledger would be really fun.
I would want Freddie Mercury off the bat because you gotta have him. I think he would make the ultimate bar.
John Candy would also be really good.
John Candy.
Holy smokes, that's a good one. Yeah,
that's a good pick.
Oh, that's
because he could play serious so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole ending for Trains, Planes, and Automobiles breaks my heart every damn time.
I love that movie so
Such a
much.
good movie.
I'd pick George Carlin and Prince. That's my 3.
Ooh.
Nice, nice.
Ooh. These are all very good choices. Yeah, I still think I think my top would I would be Heath Ledger for sure. I think John Candy would be great, but I think that's just because I idolize him. Oh my God, Robin Williams.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, now I'm just sad that everyone's dead.
I know we've bummed ourselves out. Like, you know what gets me is like it's never the people that I want to die. Like, why is Mitch McConnell still here? Anyway,
Volinar, I've seen her. She's great. There's a trans woman on TikTok that does an incredible
Yes.
Hedberg impression.
Yes.
oh, I love.
What was it was like you know, she gave me her pronouns. I can now see why they went pro. Mine are still amateur. Yeah, no. She does a great job. Oh my God. So I love the Walt Disney idea, but can we get Kanye at that same table?
Kanye at a table
With Walt
I
Disney.
think he,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
we has
he'd be
the joke was about Walt Disney would just be saying slurs the entire time.
True. Very true. Holy smokes, these are all people that I want to play with. But our next question that we always ask:
Okay.
you are God Emperor of the TTRPG space.
Oh
For
God.
one day, you can make any 3 things happen. This is a very awkward question in this current climate. But what 3 things do you do as God Emperor of all TTRPG?
And it's just for a day.
It's just for a day. It could be like if you wanted, like you could, like the
24 hour
example
period.
that I always use is like
No.
if you wanted.
I got
Okay.
one. I got one for sure. Which
All right,
is everyone has to play a game that they have never played.
Yes.
That would be my first decree. Is that like if it's just for a day, that day you're not allowed to play a game that you are completely comfortable and familiar with. You have to play a game that you have never played before. That would be my first thing. And after you played it, you can go back to doing whatever you want. That would be my one thing. My other one would be oh man. Okay, my next decree would be all PDF prints of all TTRPGs needs font choices. And I would highly recommend the dyslexic font to be used because I am personally dyslexic, and so reading TTRPGs it gets very tedious sometimes. So making it so that people have the ability to change the fonts in PDFs so that they can switch it to fonts that are easily legible. Because while I love the game Morkborg, that game is fucking miserable to read. It is so difficult. I don't know if either of you have read it, but it is
I have
a
not
style.
had a chance.
Think Metal Zine from the 90s. Okay, that is what that is how that book is designed. It is just splash art and like it's a fun, great game, but very, very difficult to read. And I cannot imagine anyone like I'm dyslexic and somewhat ADHD, but like I can't imagine other people that have reading disabilities. Like I can't imagine them ever reading them.
Yeah, I just looked at a sample of the book, and yeah, that is not an easy font to read because it's almost that typewriter font.
It's a different font for every page.
Yeah, there's
It's
no
not even
consistency because there's like Times New Roman on the same page as this typewriter font at the same time as a sort of like illuminated script font at the same time as like another different illuminated script font. Like, pick a style, man.
100%. And then the third decree. I mean, I don't want to steal it from chat, but I do love the idea of TTRPG companies creating videos to make it so that they teach their own game.
Yes.
One of the things that I just so we've been talking about Paizo and Pathfinder. One of the reasons why we were creating TTRPG content for Paizo and Pathfinder is because the content in which Pathfinder outputs is not the easiest content. Like they will live stream for like 3 hours while they'll talk about their game, but it is very difficult to find legitimate information that is helpful. Like they're like we made a character creation video of like how to create a character. We make a joke at the very beginning that it's not going to be an hour long. That's because the Paizo video was an hour long on how to create a character. And I'm like, that's going to like push
go
people
over
away.
a lot of people's heads.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and that's why I was making such a big deal out of like finding your videos, because when I initially was looking, there was a whole lot of D&D versus Pathfinder. Why I like D&D more than Pathfinder. Why I like Pathfinder more than D&D. But there wasn't really a lot of like, here's what it is. Like, and the ones that were there were like an hour long. So I was like, I don't want to do this. So
I really like shorter form content. I like stuff that is bite-sized, that you don't have to sit there for an hour, because more than likely you're going to pause our videos to follow along if you're going to do something. So a 10, 15, 20 minute video is going to be an hour long worth of you watching it. So, yeah.
I mean, that was a really great way to handle that, because some of the other videos really weren't doing it for I was looking when I was starting my search for Pathfinder stuff. I was looking for information on the Magus, and it was just a bunch of people talking about, well, the playtesting Magus was like this, but the real one's like this, and here's my thoughts on the changes that they made. I'm like, that's not teaching me how to build one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, playlists are also like good friends.
Oh yeah.
I saw a video yesterday where someone explained Cipher System in 1 minute.
I love that.
It was great. It hit all the right buttons. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need to. It's like all the basics on how to run Cipher System.
Yeah, one of the things that I really want to do in this next year, because we were talking about diversifying stuff, is we haven't filmed Game Gorgon in a while, but it is always a project that we want to do. It's just a huge undertaking to do it, getting both of us in the same place, recording it, then like editing and everything. So some of the stuff that I want to do in this next year is like the video that I made last week was I filmed it and edited it in one night. And I'm trying to make content that is significantly shorter and or TikTokable. You know what I mean? Like I can take it, I can cut it and put it on TikTok. Mm-hmm. I can put it on YouTube. I can put it on YouTube Shorts. You know what I mean? Like that, because the bite size stuff is super helpful, especially if I'm just looking for one piece of information. Like I don't know how many tutorials that I have fast forwarded because the first 3 minutes of the video is like, all right, everyone, we're going to learn how to edit in Photoshop. So first what you're going to do is you're going to download Photoshop off of Adobe's website. I'm like, why is this a part of the tutorial?
Why is this?
And every tutorial is like that. Literally, I'm like, I use DaVinci Resolve as my editing software. And I'm like, oh man, I don't remember how to do this one specific thing. And it's like, it's not like a simple thing. Like, it's like, oh, how to use Fusion and use Fusion to remove the background of a piece of footage. And all of a sudden it's like, all right, so you're going to go to DaVinci Resolve's website and you're going to download I'm like, and it's going to download on your C drive and you're going to take that. I'm like, why is this the first 15 minutes of this video? Like, please just give me the one thing that your video is titled.
You know, I think people are missing out on the opportunity of like marking their tutorials like, okay, this is for absolute beginners. So there's a beginner playlist that takes you through everything. And then there's the veteran, which is you probably just need a refresher. Boom, boom, boom. Like that's double the content. It's like
Mhm.
half the work.
And I mean, honestly, my biggest thing is like if your tutorial is how to remove the background from your video, I expect the tutorial to be how to remove the background of my video. I don't want you to tell me how to import a video. I don't want you to tell me how to put the video on the timeline. I literally just want you to teach me the one thing that your video says.
And don't forget, in the middle somewhere. And we'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode, Envato Elements. If you also would like
NordVPN, Raid Shadow Legends has
that's everybody's first one. Like there's one guy that is when I was trying to learn Pathfinder that I just had to consistently give up because the first 2 to 3 minutes was just don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to join my Discord. Don't forget to join my Patreon. Thanks to all our sponsors. And I'm like, bro, if you don't get to it in the next 5 seconds, I'm outie.
And it sucks because like that is such a big portion of the YouTube game. And it sucks because like there's a lot of things that we could be doing as queue times that would get us more engagement, that would get us more viewership, but I fucking hate it in my soul. You know what I mean? Like reminding people in the first couple of minutes to subscribe is beneficial for the channel, but it fucking eats at me and I hate it so much. That's why we wait until the very, very end to be like, fucking subscribe, do all the things. But like, you're supposed to do it in the very beginning. Like you're supposed to do something that catches the audience within the first minute. And then after you catch the audience, you're supposed to tell people to subscribe. But like, we got around that by doing a joke at the very beginning of every episode of Game Gorgon of something stupid, something slappy, something that just had to do with what we were talking about that day, but was just dumb to make people laugh and then went into the show, you know? But and then thumbnails where you're supposed to have every thumbnail
with a reaction.
Yeah. It's like, I made a character in Pathfinder 2nd edition. I hate it. I hate it so much. But I know that YouTube literally is like, hey, put a person in your YouTube thumbnail because people like seeing people. Humans like seeing other humans. Make sure to put that on there.
And you have to make them do the most over-the-top expression ever because people like seeing people be hammy, I guess.
It's because it's the thing that catches your eye. You're like, oh, why is that person surprised? You know, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a YouTube thumbnail. You know what I mean? Like,
there's almost like a tutorial. We need to start filming our YouTube tutorials for how to make YouTube videos. Let's just go straight down this rabbit hole.
All right, this is how to make them, and this is also they're in tandem how to destroy your soul. Both of them are in tandem with each other. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we don't pump our Discord. We don't pump people to subscribe. We wait until the very end. We're like, hey, look, if you made it this far, like you might our other shit. You know what I mean? Like
the tags gone wild, emotional, and not clickbait.
You won't believe what happened at the end of this tutorial. So dumb. So dumb.
Incredible.
Do you? I mean, y'all are old enough, but do you remember when like Philip DeFranco and all of those guys literally would put a single frame of like a sexy lady in the middle of their video because YouTube literally would take the exact middle of your video and make that your thumbnail. Yep. And so people would put like a sexy lady just as a single frame so that it would put that as the thumbnail. Oh my god, the good golden days.
The old tricks that you had to use to like get engagement on your videos.
Oh man, yeah. Again, it sucks because I know it will benefit us, but man, I hate doing that.
They started doing that on like certain TikToks have started doing that too, where it's like they'll have like half a second of the person fully undressed or in a state of
Mm-hmm.
undress, and
I've
then
never
the
seen that's
rest of
not
it
on my TikTok. I've never seen that. Mm-mm.
never.
Well,
Not
the,
on my
the
good
things
Christian
people get
Minecraft
away with
server.
on TikTok are wild. Like, I get a community violation anytime, like, I say the word fuck, but like, there are people doing some wild stuff, some wild stuff on TikTok,
You
and
get
it's
a
like, how are
TikTok
they getting
guideline
away with
violation whenever you
this?
speak too loudly. They don't like your tone.
I don't. I'm I'm starting to feel picked on. But no, that is something that I do see cute times doing that not a lot of people are doing, which is engaging in TikTok.
Yeah,
And
I'm trying to. Like it's hard. Like it's hard, but like we have a wonderful editor who takes like every week we because we back everything up. We triple back stuff. It's not like okay, it's on Twitch and now it's on YouTube. I can delete the file. Like everything's on Twitch, everything's on YouTube, everything's on Google Drive, and then like certain people have access to it and they just take all of our footage. I'm like, hey, look, I'll pay you to watch our shit. Like watch it and cut it,
yeah,
and so we're trying to push stuff on TikTok. We're trying to push stuff on YouTube. We're trying to use YouTube Shorts. We're trying a lot. We're trying. We're doing our best.
I mean, with that's
It's
that's
hard. It's a
kind of
lot
the
of
thing
work.
you have to do in the social media game because everything's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Well,
don't know.
and
No.
yeah, exactly. And it's also hard because like TikTok and YouTube or TikTok and Instagram, you can't publish like we use a system called Metric Cool, which is a free social media like program where you can like schedule your tweets and schedule your stuff. And you can't schedule TikToks and Instagram posts. You have to do it from your phone. And so it's really aggravating. Like it's like, okay, well, let's do 5 other steps to publish this shit,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of how I feel about Hive at this point now, because there isn't
Oh,
a browser version yet.
yeah, it's really killing me. So okay, I want to ask both of you a question. Okay.
Okay.
Bring it
Ah,
on.
Okay, I want you to you're sitting at your desk. I want you to, without getting up from your desk, look at your desk and tell me what you think is either the coolest and or the weirdest thing that you have on your desk.
oh God.
That's your coolest? Okay. I like it.
I mean, my second coolest thing would probably be my. You have to forgive me. The wings are off, but I've got this red dragon
Oh,
that I have
okay.
to that I have to finish painting and gluing the wings back onto.
I have a dice bag that is crocheted, and it's an illithid. It's a mind flayer dice bag for illithid activities.
Hold on. Anita, you and I are gonna be best friends.
Hey!
Ah! Ha. Though the person that made it called it Blue Thulu.
I
I
love it.
prefer to call it a mind flayer, because
Sure.
for the flavor. And weirdest thing that's on my desk. I mean, I've got a couple different tarot card decks kicking around here. I also have wigs up here.
Ooh.
So, you want a wig?
It's always strange the things that like streamers have on their desk.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so this was gifted to me from a former content creator for Q Times. They knew that I liked like Cthulhu because I have a giant poster of Cthulhu right behind my desk. And before anyone asks, fuck HP Lovecraft.
Very much so.
Correct.
And he decided to do it with my least favorite Doctor Who character. Because I'm not a Matt Smith fan. So, but
the guest, the controversy. I can't be here anymore.
look. When you grow up with Tenet, like I don't know how you go to Matt Smith. Like
I had a hard time too. That's fair.
But I would say for me, I would say I just got this. This is probably my coolest thing, which is a mimic dice holder.
I want it.
And then for me, the weirdest thing on my desk is gotta be this picture of a hot dog.
Very nice. Very nice.
Let me
Yeah,
ask
I
you,
got this.
what is your biggest print?
Oh, my biggest print.
Mhm.
Well, okay. So currently it's going to be Odin, but my biggest completed print is a Viking ship. Like it is glorious. If it were somewhere near me, I would go get it. But it is probably about this big. It took me a week to print. And that was like over and over and over again. But it is really cool. I can't wait to print it or paint it, not print it.
I'm trying to think of what else I have
See,
that's cool. in
Chad
it.
agrees. Tenet forever.
Mhm.
Look, David Tennant has come back. He has done come back and done additional podcasts. Like they clearly like Tenet, you know?
Yeah, and he's the doctor again. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
The 60th.
For now. For now.
I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I'm gonna show my
Okay.
biggest print.
Here's the other thing that I have on my desk.
Yes.
I do this because it also worries Noir every time I flip it to the death kitty. He's like, "What did I do wrong?"
Hey, what did I do?
See?
Yes. I've been seeing you print that.
Yeah, this one was an error. I glued it together wrong, but I'm making another one.
I'm surprised you didn't do the discus toss, the yeet.
No, because I don't want to break a window.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't. I have. Hold on. I will be right back now.
This is just show and tell at this point of the show. I appreciate this.
No, I dig it.
I like it. I like it a lot. Oh. Let me go. I mean, this isn't. This isn't mine
Okay.
specifically, but I have a prayer candle with Zach Eubank on it.
Okay, so here is all of my PLA 3D prints, mostly
Yeah.
of dungeon walls, and then this is the box of anxiety that I give my wife.
That's it?
I mean, it doesn't look like much, but when it's splayed out on a table, it's
a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, I love my resin printer. I mean, I know you can't tell, but man, this thing has got so much detail on this little
I'm about
buffalo.
I'm about to get one.
God,
Did I tell you why I bought the resin printer?
Oh, it was on sale, right?
Yeah, it was super cheap. I was like, well, fuck. Gotta do it now.
I'm waiting for that sale to come back around because like this like welcome to 3D printer talk. Like
This is not 3D
that's why you
printing
brought me
podcast.
on, right?
hell, listen, hell fucking yeah. The detail that you get in the resin printer is so clean. It's so clean. Oh God, like I gotta get one. I gotta get one.
Eventually, we will. We'll get one, and we'll have all three printing at the same time.
Right now I've got the two, and they are usually running simultaneously. I have like a nice little like space that I've given them. My 2023 goal is I want to learn how to use Blender because I want to make some of my own like prints. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
I want to make dungeon tiles is what I really want to do.
I was fooling around.
I've been wanting to make environment, but like I'm in a tiny apartment. I don't have a table big enough to like put it all out once I have it all printed. But I found like a castle print where you can like take off layers so you can play on the inside.
That's awesome.
I've been fooling around with the Windows 3D modeler, just babies first, and I designed a little mini Chicago flag. I think it's in the other room, but yeah,
That's awesome.
Oh,
it was fun.
so enough. I have to ask, The Fez, man. It's your trademark. I have to know, where did this come about?
So I was at I think it was like WonderCon, and when we were first starting, one of our staple forms of content was we would go to every local con and just interview the fuck out of people. Right? It would just random people. We would just literally just be like, talk to me. Like there was this one company that literally would take monster cans and like rip them open and then put like clay teeth and blood and guts, and they would literally like make monsters out of like beer cans and monster cans and like action figures. It was the weirdest shit, right? We'd go down Artist Alley at every con and try to interview as many people. And there was a booth that we interviewed called Fezorama. And I found out the history of Fezorama, and I fell in love with the company. I fell in love with the first Fez I ever got was like a really tall one with Cthulhu on it, because again, don't know if you realize this, but I have a lot of Cthulhu things and or tentacles, like this phone holder that sits on my desk, you know? So I was interviewing him, and the guy that runs Fezorama, that started it, he actually got cancer, and he's going through chemo, and so he wanted a hat to cover his head, and all of it, and but he didn't want like a baseball cap. He wanted something fun, so he made a fez, and he made a fez that was soft instead of hard because his head was sensitive from the chemo, and so he made these fezes, and this fez is literally like it's completely like it's soft. It's literally just like cloth on top of your head. It's amazing. And so he got cancer. He made these fezes, and then all of his friends were like, "Oh, I want one." And so he made them for them, and then other people saw them, and he's like, "All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna just start making fezes." So him and his wife just started making fezes, and then they started Fezorama. And I loved it, and I was like, "Well, I have to buy this fez. One, it's Cthulhu fez, and two, this guy's like super cool, and like this whole history is really interesting." So I bought one, and I made it like, okay, as a 90s white male, there was a period of time in the 90s where no bitches, right? And so you would watch or read things like Pickup Artists, or I don't remember if you remember, there's a bunch of like 90s MTV shows about like picking up women and stuff like that.
I can name them all.
Yep. And so there was that one like super famous pickup artist that was like, "Oh, you wear something weird or something strange. It's called peacocking, and like it gets people's attention." And while that didn't matter to me when it came to finding a mate, I did think it was an interesting way to make myself stand out as a persona on social media and or on YouTube. So my thing became a fez. Because I didn't see a lot of other people wearing fez, and I really loved it. So, yeah.
And, I'm on Fezorama.com right now. They've got some pretty cool ones on here.
Yeah, and they've got a bunch of different styles. My wife wears a fez. Krug has a mini fez that is got a little mouse on it, and it has a strap around it because it's so small. They've got some very, very interesting, very, very cool stuff. But yeah, it just became my thing.
It's a cool thing, man. Like I love hats. Like that's just the end of it. So like when I see that, I'm like, okay. Like it's like, a cool way for people to make stuff for you, because like that the Cthulhu crochet thing, like it's the hat that's just like, yeah, that's what puts it over. Well, and that's why they got me the Matt Smith is because fezes are cool.
Fezes are cool.
Fezes are cool.
Exactly. And so that's why they got me this one. Yeah, I mean, and like it's got these little like the tassels on them. They've got like little little different things. So I went with, the little black ram, but my Cthulhu one has an Illithid tassel hanger. It's also I've got like a little D20 pin to pin my tassel in place. Yeah, I like the Fez. I really enjoy it. It was fun having to deal with people, having to teach people the history of Fezes, because like I researched it before, because I was like, well, is that like culturally insensitive? Like, I know Fezes are like a staple in different areas, but then I had to do a bunch of research and figure out where it came from and like where it originated from. And then I was like, all right, I feel a lot better wearing it now versus like just being a dude in a fez, like a white dude in a fez.
So another question that I have here is, right now we are in a time where we're about to get a lot of new systems, a lot of new games to play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are some of your dream features or dream mechanics that you would love to see in a new game?
I would like to see social interactions being as interesting, or if not more interesting, than combat. That is my major fault and major thing that I hate in TTRPGs, which are social interactions are just roll of diplomacy. Okay, you succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like combat, you've got moves, you've got abilities, you can do things, and I hate most social systems that exist. There are some social systems that I've tried to work on and try to build, where you've got like a social AC where you're like, yeah. So there's a system that I have been working on that has like, instead of just like, oh, I have an AC, you just have to roll higher. It's a 4-tier system, and it's got, aggression, sympathy. Wow, I made this up and I can't remember them, but there's 4 different like emotions that are associated with it. And it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors Pokemon thing, where it's like, okay, I'm going to use my aggression, and my aggression is going to do damage to your whatever. And and so it made it so that social interactions, or your social characters, had like fun combat interactions. Like the worst thing ever is being a bard and going into combat and like, well, I'm going to give everyone inspiration. I'm going to play this melody. Yeah. And then like, okay, cool. Now this is the moment for you to shine. You get to talk to the big bad before we all like attack. And they're like, okay, well, I roll diplomacy. Cool. You succeed, or like, I want to romance the dragon. Cool. You succeed, like,
yeah,
that's not fun to me. I wanted there to be strategy. I wanted there to be able to be like, people would have stat bonuses. Like the king would have a stat bonus if he had armed guards behind them. So because he's got guards, you can't go at him aggressively because he's got guards. What are you going to do? So you have to go at it in a different route. You have like, and so I worked on it, and I even, I have like the first draft of it done. Mm-hmm. And I did a couple playtests, and people seemed to enjoy it. And, as burnout happens, I stopped working on it. That's and fair. As a ADD person, I hyperfixated on something else. But it is one of those projects that I really want to work on. But that is the number one thing that I wish we would get to see more often, is a better social system.
I feel like social characters don't really get a place to shine.
And there's nothing worse than having a social character that comes up with like a really good, compelling argument and then rolls like shit.
Well, and I also hate that social interactions, and I mean, this isn't every table, but like, I hate when like GMs are like, oh, well, go on, tell me how you tell this person off. And you're like, oh, well, I insult them. Like, oh, well, that's not good enough. Like, what do you say to them? It's like, you don't make the fighter explain how the blade is going to like pass by. Like, you just like, I swing my sword and that's acceptable. But when the social character is like, oh, well, you have to tell me why the king should give up his crown. It's like, no, like not all of us can come up with that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
if you have the chance, I'd recommend. There's a 2-player RPG called "I Have the High Ground," which
Ooh.
is by they're Jess from Online on Twitter. And I Have the High Ground is a high stakes game of that sort of back and forth verbal sparring before the fight actually breaks out.
Interesting.
And it's done with that similar rock, paper, scissors, but it's parry, thrust, and what's the last one? Parry, thrust, and feint. And you have cards that you hold up for which you want to do.
That's cool.
And then you have like a penalty card where if you're just like at the end of the set, like this isn't worth it, you throw your sword away. That's considered a penalty, and you roll for it and you see how it resolves. It's very interesting and very fun. I got to play it with my friend Darby a couple weeks ago, and it's a really cool game and a cool system.
That's awesome. Yeah, I brought it up. I'm gonna have to check it out later.
Capes.
I I've been wondering, like, I can't think of another game that has a class like the detective or investigator in Pathfinder, and I think that's very close to like one of the coolest social built classes that I've seen, and I'd like to see
Mhm.
more things like that. Because it's very strange to me that there really isn't a way to make a Sherlock based character in most games, which is very it's an archetype that you would think that we would play with more, but along the lines of like your social combat almost, like yeah, I would love to see something like this so we can expand to even further archetypes that are in all of our favorite media that we can't really express in some of the systems out now, like just a character that can just avoid combat by being mouthy. I would love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something else I would love to see happen in the future is I'm sure you both have played One Night Werewolf.
Yes.
Okay, so you know how it's got that app that will tell you how to play, right? It literally like close your eyes, werewolves. Oh, look at each other, right? It does that, like it narrates
Right.
the game for you and it
Mhm.
helps you with the mechanics. I would love, as technology moves forward, I would love to see more TTRPGs using apps to assist different aspects of their games. So one of the systems that when I was working on the social aspect, there was another system I was working on where instead of spell slots, or instead of like with Pathfinder, you know, how many actions it takes, everything had a cooldown, right?
Like
And
more like an
so
MMO.
yeah, exactly. And so it would have like, oh, this ability has a D6 cooldown. And so you would put a D6 on that ability facing up, and at each round that passed, it would tick down 5, 4, 3, 2, and then once it's gone, you can then use that ability again. So that you had to manage how you used your ability. So it's not just like, oh, I use fireball, I use fireball, I use fireball. It's like, okay, well, I can use fireball now, but now that means I can't use fireball for the next 6 rounds, which means I have to be more cautious about when it's important to use fireball and have to go around that way. So that would be, I really want to get, I would really love to see like apps or systems that would assist
Mhm.
in some of the more mechanical heavy aspects of it, you know. I think that would be very interesting to see.
Hell yeah. Have you ever had a chance to play Savage Lands? I think Savage
I
Lands
have not.
does.
I have the books, but I have not played any of them.
Yeah, I think Savage Lands is very, very similar in that way. Um, where they have essentially every aspect of your character is given a dice, a different dice.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can lean on being a little bit more like social, or if you want to be a master horse rider or something like that, you can. It's just very open in that way. I highly recommend it if you have a chance.
Have either of you seen the TTRPG called Die?
Yes.
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't played it, but I've seen it.
I want to play it so bad. Each class is given a dice. So the D4 is like bard, the D6 is like barbarian, so on and so forth. And then you roll your dice. You only roll that dice. The GM gets the D20, and the GM has to roll the D20 to do different things. And it originally came from a comic book, and then they converted the comic book into a TTRPG. It is very cool. I've read through it and I love it. I really, really want to see it. I really want to play it.
I see now that's another one on the list. There's so many games already out. The fact that there are going to be more is.
Is audio being weird?
Yeah, that's what chat said.
Whose audio's dying?
I think it might
They said
be.
everyone overall.
Is it mine as well?
Is it
Mine
me,
should be coming
Jesus?
from a different input. Just give me
Oh,
one
it's
second.
Claire after all. Thank you for
Hello, thank you so much for that raid, Claire. After all,
Claire
Thanks,
after
Claire.
all is the channel in which I was streaming Wonder Home last night for charity.
Oh, hell yeah.
oh, it seems to have gone away. Okay,
Nice. I'm actually going to be on Clear after all, after this, actually.
Oh.
Boom.
cool.
Yeah, I get the pleasure of running Pathfinder for some friends today at home.
so jealous.
Aw.
Look, Nor, there is so many people that want to play. I am literally offering everyone, like, whether it's stream, off stream, like, I will run people Pathfinder. I will teach people Pathfinder. I will run people through Pathfinder, like whether it's a one shot or a few, like a short little thing. Like, I have a little mini campaign that I like running that is based off of the music of Primus. I don't know if you know the band Primus,
Yeah.
but they had an album which literally lends itself to TTRPGs, which is the Desaturated Seven. Which so Anita, Noir, either of you, if you want a game, whether you want it on your channel, you want to put it on queue times, you want to do it off stream, I'm down.
I still have. So funny enough, before all this happened, I've been working slowly, to be fair, but working on a show idea called Pathfinder Academy, which the idea of it is to have a set group of people, like maybe 4 people with a guest, for like different arcs, to get more and more people interested in playing. But I think the interest is there now. So
Now might be the time to strike while the iron is hot.
yeah, I should get moving. which is funny because we've already started designing stuff for it. Like we got the logo, the overlay, and everything. I just have to, I have to time management and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Anyway.
It's the worst.
The worries of being a content creator.
How do you handle the math in Pathfinder? I've heard 1E is known as Mathfinder, but is 2E better about it? That's a good question.
So the numbers are higher than D&D, but it's the same exact math, right? The difference is you're adding your dice roll to a number that is from 1 to 30 instead of a number that is from 1 to 5. Like that is literally the difference. So if you think you can do some simple addition, you're good. Like, the math is not difficult. The most math that you have to do is the GM, which is if the person rolls like if you have an AC of 20 and your player rolls a 30, that's 10 higher than the AC, so it's considered to be a critical hit. Right. So the biggest math that you have to do is addition, your dice roll plus one other number. And then is it plus or minus 10 on whatever you needed to roll.
Yeah. So if a spell save is 15 and you roll a 5, you critically failed your save.
Yes.
If the spell save is 15 and you roll 10, you just failed. It's not a critical fail. If the spell save DC is 15 and you rolled 25, you critically succeed. So it's the way
There's
the way
degrees of
I've been
success and
described.
failure.
Yeah, there are 4
Yeah,
degrees of
and
success and failures in most things in Pathfinder.
which I don't. Spoiler alert. One D&D has announced they are doing a very similar system. So it
Ain't that a bitch?
So if that's the one thing that's harking you and preventing you from going to Pathfinder, sorry, you got to deal with it in D&D. Yeah. And again, that is the it explains it in each of your spells. So even if you're casting a spell, if you're rolling the dice, yes, there's always degrees of success and degrees of failure, and it's very similar to like with D&D. It's like, oh, you succeeded, great, you critically succeeded, it's double damage, right? And then if you fail, no damage or half damage. Like usually for Pathfinder, it's half damage and no damage, and that's it. Like,
yeah, I'm actually going to be playing in a Starfinder campaign fairly shortly here in the next.
That's a lot
weeks.
of math. That's a lot of math.
I'm playing a mystic too.
Ooh, yeah. I'm playing I
didn't make it easy on myself.
Yeah, I'm working on a Starfinder game right now, and I'm playing a time something. I mess with time.
Almost like a chronodrist, or
yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It's like almost like a time warper or something like that. I don't remember. I would have to look it up.
Chat says there are a couple of YouTube content creators who successfully sold this idea that Pathfinder is math heavy and hard.
Yeah,
much like Q Times and Jake.
Well, no, this is the opposite.
No, other way around.
Oh,
well,
okay.
I mean, and it's so funny because like, I don't know if y'all were around for the drama of after Pathfinder came out, a couple of big D&D YouTubers came out and was like, I'm quitting Pathfinder 2nd edition. And they're like, yeah, Pathfinder 2nd edition is really boring because, I have a group of players that are playing, and all of them do the exact same thing. The druid turns into a dinosaur and bites the enemy, and they're getting really bored because it's the same thing every round. And everyone was like, bro, that how's that different than D&D? Like
Pathfinder 2e, more like Woke Finder.
Yes, because there's a lot of gay content creators, and they try to publish people of color and not forget their name when they wrote the book. Oh, and also not put racist ass fucking sentient monkeys in their space game. Like,
but listen, when their official announcement was like, we're doing this so we can make sure that nothing problematic is printed. I'm like, yeah, the call is coming from inside the house. That's where the problems are coming from.
Yeah, like there's a whole section. It's funny in the chat. There's a tweet that I saw. I think No Nat One's posted it. Someone was mad because there's like a page that's like, hey, don't be a dick. Like,
yeah,
be nice. Like, people like to be called different things, and like, just be chill. And people are like, this is bullshit. And it's like, oh, go fuck yourself.
Like, I always wonder how these people would react to some of the indie RPGs that I play, because there's a game that I put Noir in over on Gen Con. We did No Nut November. We did a 3-parter for that.
Oh my god.
So, Squirrels of the Post-Apocalypse. Your squirrels try to find caches of nuts before winter sets in. And there is a section at the beginning, there's a blurb at the beginning of the book that says, this game is not for Nazis. If there are fascists in your world, the job of your squirrel should be to eradicate them.
I love it.
Yeah. Like, Hold on. We've got something in chat here, which is, have you seen the whole DM screen dice coaster ripoff controversy?
Yes.
I am unfamiliar.
Yes.
So,
I
do you want me to?
sure.
Okay, so, you know how WotC often sends out their little care packages to influencers and such?
Yes.
So there was a DM screen and there was two coasters that were included in this quarters care package. And you know that coaster that you have sitting on your desk right now?
Yeah. This guy.
Yeah, those were the coasters that they sent out, but not by that company.
So they just wait. Hold on.
And
So
the DM
so they
screen,
just bought a couple of these blank.
No.
they
No.
found a third. They took pictures of it,
Mhm.
found a third party to produce them, and then sent them out to influencers. And
Why
It
not
gets-
just buy it from the guy you took the picture of?
it gets worse. Talon
Cheaper.
and Claw. Talon and Claw was the other producer.
Oh
you
yeah,
know
I
their
love their
DM
Oh
screens?
no, I did see that. I did
Yeah.
see that. That was great.
Well, apparently someone from WotC was at Talon and Claw's booth at a Ren fair and really liked their stuff and took all these pictures of it.
Wow. Wow, they
And then a
are
couple months
not doing
later-
themselves any favors here.
A couple months later, out comes
They're
this.
not doing themselves any favors here. Good lord.
Hey, Snowflake Guy, you want to play a space pirate game with me? Yes, sweet. Bust out thirsty sword lesbians.
All right, so we've gotten to the part. We're talking about
We are
like the
talking about
ultimate that guy at this point.
Mm.
So I think now is a great section, a great segue into the that guy segment, which is, if you've been in the tabletop scene long enough, you've probably had the displeasure of playing with a that guy. This is someone who is a veritable black hole of fun at the table. Somebody that if they were thrown into the sun, your experience would improve tenfold. So, Jake, do you have a that guy story for us? And let me just preface this by saying we have had that guys as low as like just a derailing GM, all the way up to somebody who bit another player and then gaslit them about it.
So my first ever GM was that guy. I had never played TTRPGs. I'd never done that. A coworker of mine, someone I went to college with, someone I knew, was playing a game of D&D 3.5. And he was telling me about the game, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And he's like, oh, you should come and just watch us. Just watch us one day, and it'll be totally fun. You'll love it, and maybe you'll play. And I was like, okay. He goes, what kind of character would you want to play if you did play? And I was like, oh, a rogue sounds like you guys need a rogue. I'd play a rogue. That sounds fun. And he made me a character. This is my friend. Made me a character. Goes, okay, you're playing today. Like not like it was, hey, come and see. No, he handed me a character sheet. And he goes, okay, now you're playing. I was like, oh, okay. This was the ultimate that guy in my eyes. I became a GM so that others did not have to deal with that guy. I have to be sensitive about what I say because it's that bad. So we played with him for years. There were multiple times where we would have to leave, pretend to end the session, to then meet back because he would get in verbal arguments with one of the players so bad that we just like had to stop sessions. And then eventually he got a girlfriend who is a very good friend of mine now. And he would, in the middle of playing, he would reach over and put his hand between her bosoms and then slap them back and forth.
That's not funny. I'm sorry for laughing. That's not funny. That's what?
The audacity.
That's the light stuff.
That's the lights. That's an ass whooping right there. Holy.
If I was in a game, babe, I love you.
Yes.
But if you dared do that to me,
Well,
boobs would not be the only thing getting a slap in.
I don't understand in what context
Is that
that would.
appropriate?
He also made us fight a succubus,
Oh no.
Here we go.
and we lost our will saves.
Oh yeah, of course you did.
And so I don't know if you know this or not, but D&D 3.5 has a book called the Book of Erotic Fantasies.
I knew it was coming.
We knew it. Nothing could ever prepare you, though.
He made us fade to black, but made us describe what we did to his girlfriend.
Oh!
Nope.
It gets worse. How does it get worse?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
What?
I'm good.
Jesus.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
That's
a lot. Kudos to y'all for. So, how did this resolve itself?
Well, we were all very uncomfortable, and we were just like, we do it, and they're like, okay, but how?
Why?
We do it, and then he made us roll fortitude saves to see how long we lasted. Let me also describe this group to you. This is him, the GM, his girlfriend, amazing, wonderful woman. I love her. She's a godsend
for not murdering this woman.
I mean, honestly, it was abuse. Like in all seriousness, it was mental, as physical abuse, and it was. She still is dealing with that to this day, right? Yeah. So it was him, his girlfriend, myself, my friend who is my age, and his younger brother who had just graduated high school. And he's making all three of us describe what we are doing.
What? I can't fathom any scenario as a GM where I'm like, this is what the story needs right now. Like that's well, I'm very glad that everybody got out of it.
Oh yeah. So we all, including her, she broke up with him. We all stopped playing with him. Mind you, it took a while. It was a long process because like it was this really thing of like we were all uncomfortable. We all didn't really like playing with him, but like none of us had the skill or ability to run games. We all wanted to play. We didn't know what to do. We were also like in this situation where like he made it feel like it was supposed to be normal, even though like none of us felt comfortable with it. And like we would have conversations after the fact. And eventually like the group broke up. This is the thing that's going to make you the most upset. Okay. Buddy. He is now a doctor.
Oh, wow. I'm not surprised. I'm
sorry, Anita. Sorry.
This might be the first that guy that made Anita take a laugh. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
What practice
Anita, I'm just saying.
I could stay away.
Anita, I'm just gonna say this. This is the last thing we'll talk about. That is the stuff I feel comfortable saying on Twitch.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
This is so scummy. Oh. Well, I'm very
Incredible.
glad that we have this new segment to follow that,
Mm-hmm.
which is
The palate
this is
cleanser, maybe?
yes, very much so. This is our TTRPG spotlight, where we give you a chance to spotlight someone, anyone in the community that you feel like is making the space better.
Exquisite Corpse. Easy. DK. DK runs a channel called Exquisite Corpse. They are amazing. They're very kind. They're wonderful. They are on a show of Q Times called Blackness and Dragons, which is an all people of color Dungeons and Dragons show. And DK then has her own channel who runs Dungeons and Dragons and other games, but they put so much attention to detail and so much like beauty in what they create. Like I came on as a guest to play an NPC that they have had, and DK literally gave me a 5-page dossier of this character. And I'm not talking the character sheet was 5 pages. I mean, literally like the history of this character from inception all the way to current time. Gave me maps, gave me like so much. They're great. They're very kind. They create a great environment around them. I cannot speak highly enough about DK and the drastic difference between my original GM and DK.
Do we happen to have their Twitter? I'll put
Yeah.
So everybody can show some love.
Yeah. I will bring them up
Here's
right
the
now.
here's the Twitter for Exquisite Corpse.
Okay.
Okay. I cannot I couldn't remember here. I will put it in our chat so you have it. Because I don't think I can share links. I don't know if I can.
You can. But
oh, boom. There you go.
There you go.
Yes, DK is amazing. I always have to remember what their Twitter name is. I'm like, it's Abba something.
Abba darlings.
Listen, yep. I'm the worst with names and usernames, so I feel that in the very pits of my soul.
Yeah. Yeah. DK is one, and also DK has amazing makeup. Like,
I'm always so jealous of people that can do makeup. Like, I've been trying to learn. It's hard, y'all. It's hard.
If I didn't get my tooth removed yesterday, I like studied and was learning how to do like bird makeup because I really wanted to like, I want excuses to do makeup. And then I got my tooth pulled out. So
like I really want to learn to do orc makeup. Like that's where I'm at right now. So we are winding down a bit. So I got a couple more questions for you. Okay. Before we go ahead and roll on out of here. My next question is with the madness that's going on in our space right now, what do you think is the most surprising thing that you've picked up on this week and last week? Like, is there anything in the space that you didn't expect?
There are a couple of staple D&D content creators who have attacked other platforms or other groups. Them coming out and attacking D&D was definitely surprising.
Yeah. I heard people pipe up that I thought were just gonna kind of stay silent since they've worked with Velocity, but I've been surprised by that as well. I think I'm the most surprised about just how effective the unsubscribing call to action has been. Like, I figured people would have that call to action, but nobody would actually heed it, and they did.
They did in a big way.
Yeah. it was funny because I was like, oh, I should unsubscribe. And I went there and I was like, oh wait, I've never been subscribed to D&D Beyond. I've only ever used it as guest on a couple people's shows, but then like I was producing stuff for Wizards for a while. And so because I had to be on the D&D Beyond, they gave me a full unlocked account. So like I've been running a full unlocked account this whole entire time thinking that I was subscribed.
Yeah.
So,
Oops.
Yeah, I never got an unlocked account, so I've just been paying for everything. And I didn't even realize that I had been annually subscribed until I canceled. I'm like, oh, that's why I never think about it.
You know what's great? Path Builder second edition's free, and it gives you the character creation. Archives of Nethys gives you 100% of the rules and creatures from Pathfinder second edition for free. The only thing that if you want the artwork, you want the pretty stuff, that's what you pay for, you know?
Yeah. I was using a builder for Pathfinder called Hephaestus. That's what I was using for Starfinder to build my character, and it's free, and you don't even need to subscribe to it.
There is a lot of really cool Starfinder stuff. I do not play enough Starfinder to be in that world. I wish I did because I like a lot of the really cool creative stuff that they've done with the game. There's just some stuff about the game that I'm not a huge fan of, like the stamina and the health pool. Like that's confusing sometimes.
Yeah, you've also got two different ACs. You've got a kinetic AC and a EAC and KAC. Kinetic and environmental or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of the 3.5 Pathfinder.
It's that crunch coming back in.
Yeah. Well, it's because they went Pathfinder, then they did Starfinder, and then Pathfinder second edition, and you can see the evolution of it. Is like you got super crunch, you got a little bit of simplification, but there's still a lot of crunch, and then like, oh, there's crunch, but this is like jiffy smooth crunch, you know what I mean? Like
right,
it's crunch when I want it to be. So
it's as crunchy as you like.
Exactly.
All right, and for our last segment, we have something that we like to call Penny Prime Time, which is if you want to subtweet out loud, this is your chance to do it. I always give an example first. So here is my Penny Prime Time. If you have more to say about how people are resisting WotC than you do about what WotC is doing, maybe don't.
This is gonna be probably the most toxic thing I could say, which is something we talked about before stream, which is hey, it shouldn't take WotC taking away money that you aren't making, but some other rich company is making, for you to dislike a company that's frequently racist.
I'm gonna call them the Britas because you used the example of Brita being like, I can excuse racism, but I draw the line to animal cruelty. Like, yeah, we got a couple of Britas out there.
Look, and I'm not disparaging people that have like signed contracts and need to make money. Like,
absolutely.
I get that. I get people that need to make money. I get that people are using D&D because it's like the most popular and it's easier to get an audience with D&D than it is with other stuff. But like, at a certain point, like when they're racist, like at least 3 times a year, like
true.
It's like annually.
It is clockwork. It's the quarterly racism.
Yeah. It's like it's the one of the biggest issues with the US is that we have a hatred towards the poor, right? Because the poor are somehow a lower being. And I'm not poor, you're not poor, we're not poor. We're just disgraced millionaires that we will be millionaires one day. And so when people go after people that are making a bunch of money, you know, people that are making over $750,000 off of a product, we get upset. We get more upset about people that are making money than we are getting about people of color or minority groups that are getting hurt on a regular basis off of decisions that are being made. That is my biggest gripe and my biggest issue, is that we get more upset about someone else's money than we are getting upset about someone legitimately going through pain. Fuck Watsy.
I feel that. I couldn't agree more. I'm thinking that might be the perfect place to wrap, but I'm going to check with Anita. You got any more questions?
I do not, but I have a smaller petty.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
If for some reason, I don't know, say you cancel a game and you check with the other players to just see if maybe they'd be interested in doing it somewhere else for less time. If 3 out of your 4 players are cool with it and the 4th says no, why'd you leave, bro? It's a little sus. What's going on? What's the story there? Anyways,
Interesting.
I can tell you a little bit more about it off stream. It's just weird.
I'm here for all this tea. All right, look. Also, what is make sure? Do you have any questions? I asked
you the question. Look, here's the key question: when are we playing Pathfinder?
Important.
And I got to see the cool things and the weird things on your desk, which is the thing that I always like seeing, because everyone's got desk tchotchkes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I want to steal that question from now on. Like I got like an obnoxiously big dice.
I have itty bitties on my desk.
I've got a cube fidget toy.
Honestly, I'm just so proud of my little Captain America controller.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And it's the Sam Wilson Captain America too. God damn it!
And I've got a dog that I 3D printed.
Oh,
is it
dog?
It's
everywhere.
A crystal doge.
You put those everywhere.
That is quickly becoming my thing.
I have a sword.
Nice.
I used it as a prop for last night's show.
All right, chat. You tell us something that's cool that's on your desk, and show it to us on Twitter. But we are gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna start heading out. We're gonna go say hi to Sam because we love Sam.
Yeah, we gotta say hi to Sam.
So we are gonna cut it here and say hello to Sam DeLev over at Delevely, who is playing Horizon Forbidden West. Y'all, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. But before we leave, we'll do quick outros. Hi, I'm Anita. You can find me here. And you'll also be able to find me over on a channel fairly soon. I don't know what channel exactly, but I'll be playing Starfinder in a game. I'm playing a crotchety old woman who's also a mystic and the mechanic for a ship full of weirdos. And I'm very excited. We got Session 0 coming up pretty soon, which means we'll be starting in the next month or so. And Noir, who are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as TheNoirEnigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Hive. I am the host of Gen Con TV's Table Takes. You can find me there every Friday. You can find me here every Saturday for Morning Ritual, and I have a podcast that I do with my sibling called Dungeons and Dragons, where we talk all about nerdy news with a healthy dose of accountability. We should have a new one coming out next week. You can find me later today doing a thing. You can find me on Clear After All's channel within the next hour. I'll be playing a game with some lovely people. We've got Dipples and Dice, Honey and Dice, Orion D. Black, and many more. So please come check that out. And I think that's it. Oh, and of course, every Monday you can catch me on Q Times with the Stream Punks for our game Beacon. We are playing Alien Free League's game, sponsored by Demiplane, and it is mad spooky. So check it out.
And last but not least, Jake, tell us who you are. Where can we find you?
My name
good
is
stuff.
Jake. My name is Jake. You can find me on Twitter at IndigoQT or at _QTimes because for some reason I can't get Q times on Twitter. And right now I don't have any scheduled streams for myself, but you can see Noir for the next 2 Mondays because I think next week's the penultimate episode. And then on Fridays we've got Gravehaven. And we've got a lot more shows coming up. And hopefully I'll get off my ass and do some more Pathfinder 2nd edition content.
I'm gonna make you. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Pathfinder Academy. Be on the lookout.
Let's do it.
Heck yeah. But yeah. Thank you all so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. But until next
And
time.
as always, Jake, we will have you back on. I'm gonna
We're gonna
bully you to come back.
It's true.
Let me know. We'll make it happen.
But until next time, everybody, the ritual has concluded. Bye.
Get out. Say hi to Sam. Bye.
All right, we're clear. I'm starting a raid.